To make this dream catcher, first you need two metal rings, one about 4 inches and the other one 6. And then just tie a knot on one side to keep them over on that side. And later on we're going to wrap the whole thing, but just, use either a lock's head knot and then a regular knot just to keep them on that side so that you have that beautiful crescent moon on the other side. And then you can start making all these sections for the crescent moon. I use 7 sections, and first you just attach 2 strings with a lock's head knot, and the ones for the bottom section should be about 40 inches long, and then you just half them and put them up, so then they're 20 inches long to hang. And then you start with a half knot. Just use the 2 strings in the middle and then lay the one from the left side over to the right, and then the one from the right side underneath, over the one from the left, and then under the 2 strings in the middle and up again through a loop on the left side, and then just keep it tight. And that's that half knot. And you keep going doing it the same way, over the 2 in the middle, and then the one on the left, over, under, and up. And keep doing that, and that will give you that nice spiral. You can see how it's already trying to turn, but just always try to keep it this way and just keep going. And for that bottom section, you need about 6 of those half knots. Just keep going. So over there, and then over, under, and through. See how it's trying to turn, but just keep it tight. But you can check and see how it's turning over there, but then just push it back and keep going. About 6 of those should be enough for that bottom section. And you can just let it naturally turn, and you're ready to attach it to the large ring on the bottom. And for that, just take the first string, pull it through underneath, and then flap it over on the other side and pull it through there too, so that you have it tight around that bottom ring. And then you do the same thing for the other 3 strings. And then once you finish that, you can move on to the other sections. For the second one, you also use 2 40-inch strings. And then instead of just doing 6 of those half knots, you're gonna do about 8. But other than that, it's for all 7 sections around, it's the same amount. And then you see here already completed, so the first two sections, and then the next one, the third one, has like two strings that are 60 inches each, and then you fold them over to 30, and then about 10 half knots, and then the one in the center there across from the place where we put the regular knot. You also use 60 inches for both strings, and about 11 of those half knots, and then you go down again from the other side. So for the that was the fourth one. For the fifth one, it's also about 60 actually inch strings, because you're going to use that one to, no, that one only needs 20, because you're going to cover that one up so that you don't have the extra strings. But also 10 half knots, and then the sixth one has 8 half knots, but there you need about 60 inches, because you're gonna wrap the metal ring with the leftover string that's hanging. And for the top one, the seventh one, you're gonna use 30 inches, because you're gonna make the little tie to actually hang it with the leftover strings. But you use about 6 half knots, just like the first one. And I'm using a clipboard to hold the top of the strings and everything, so that I can really pull. So if you have something like that, that's always good, or like a cardboard that you can pin it to. But I think the clipboard is always the best for any macrame project if it's not too big. It's good to just clip it in there and then have something to really hold on to. So once you have those ready, you can twirl the ends or twist them together so that they form a nice band. So you just move both sides or twist both sides to one side. I decided on, twisting it from left to right until they start. If you let a little go, then just they pull up by themselves, and you do the same to the other string. Just keep twisting it, and then once both of them are twisted tight enough that they want to just twist onto themselves, then you just put them together and just twirl them together towards the other side, so from right to left, and that really keeps them together and makes it a nice string. And then just tie a knot at the end, and then do the same one on the other side. And this one's gonna be the top of your dream catcher wall hanging, so that you have something to hang it from. Just twist them and twirl them the other way around, and then tie a knot with both of them together. Did this a little bit further down so that you can just undo that first knot you made. Since this is for hanging, it really doesn't have to be that long. A knot there, And you can either take it out or just cut it actually off. You get it nice and tight, and then just use scissors and cut off the rest there. And you can also just feather the ends so there's a nice hanging part. See, now it's ready, so this is where I can hang it. Now you can start twisting also the ends. I did this with this one side already, but now I just have to twist the second one over there. And do the same, just twist both separately to the left side, to the right side, and then together to the left side. These will be the strings to attach the feathers to. That can be blue like mine, or choose any other color that you like. Like red would probably be nice. Or use like green, so it's not actually feathers, but you could also do like green leaves. And you can also decide like at what height you want them. I try to put them all different heights just so that they hang like they're falling off. Just that you need about 3 inches after that first knot to attach all the string for the feathers there, and then put another knot about 3 inches below, so that in between is where the feathers will go. Now for that section, that's how you're gonna just start wrapping 2 strings together around that metal part so that you don't see that, and have it all be nice macrame string or cord. Just try to make all the in-betweens about the same size. And then just keep them in between and use the string in the back so that no one's really going to see how you keep going from one side to the other, and keep going and see how it crosses over. And then just keep going. And then you can undo that knot over there once you get to this section, and wrap it over the size 2 all the way to the end until you can't go any further, and you can just use some tape to hold it there. But see how I just wrapped the in-between part, and then you use the other 2 and keep going in between. So a few here, and then you just cut the extra string from that next section off. Just leave a little bit so you can wrap that into, use the string to wrap around it so that it doesn't get loose. Like I wrapped it under, but you could also just use a longer string and keep going with this string. It's whatever you think would be best. Sometimes it's easier to just keep going with this. And then just cut off the extra string. and then keep wrapping over it. And always check that you have the same kind of spacing in between, especially if you like count how many wraps you did for each one. I think about 5 or 6 was enough to really keep the spacing the same. This one's the middle one, so that's the first one that will have the feathers hanging from it. So with this other string, I'll just keep going around all the way to the other side where I taped the other one. And that's once you reach the other side, and then keep the two together. Yeah, try to have one be underneath and just wrap the other one around. Then you can just cut off that piece and then use a glue gun, hot glue gun, the best. Or maybe there's, if you have some sort of instant glue, then you can use that too. But a hot glue gun is always the best for any of these things. So that's what I used in the back then, to just first cutting off that little piece. And then glue this with the hot glue gun. And then you can also just cut off the leftover there, the overhang. Get any stray pieces there. On the outside is wrapped, and now all that's left is to twirl some more sections there. As you can see, I also have like sort of 2 feather sections from that first section, and then the second one has 2, and then from the third one I only left 1 section because I didn't want an even number. I mean, I wanted 7 feathers, just like I have 7 sections or rays from that sun piece to the crescent moon. So I cut 1 section of that third one, like 2 strings there. When I wrapped it, I wrapped them in and then just kept the leftover. And this way I have 7 feathers. I said, you leave about 3 inches and then do another knot, and within those 3 inches, that's where the feather goes. And really cut it close there, since this will be the end of the feather piece. They already finished one, and then now let me show you how to do that part. So I cut 5-inch strings, and you fold them in half. And for each feather you need, well, I did like 15 sections, so you need 30 strings, because you need 2 strings for each section. And then you just use the white one as your inside one and just tie them on like that. So 1 string folded in half, and then placed underneath the 2 strings there in the middle, the white ones. And then the other one also folded in half, to catch the string on this side and push underneath the other one. And this way then you can just pull tight, and it sort of cages that middle string, those 2 strings. So again, 1 underneath, and the other loop to pull those 2 strings up, and on the other side you pull those 2 strings in. And then you just have to pull it tight. So I did 15 of those sections for each feather. If you want bigger feathers, you can do more longer ones or shorter ones. And the last one I tried to do right on that knot, so like half on one side and half on the other one, to cover it up a little bit. And of course it's all tricky with the little yarn and everything, but you can do it. So it's like right there in between. And you just need to fade the yarn. I used like a tight comb, like a picking comb or whatever, to get all those separated. So it's like individual strands. So you have that, you can try to manage it a little bit. It also helps sometimes to just like spray it with some water or some starch to let it get stiff and really conform to a feather. And then you just cut around it and cut that feather shape. And that's it, and you do that for all 7 of them. And all that's left now is to wrap the inner ring. So you just start on one side was a long string. I think I used about 60 inches to really get around all of it. Get it right in that corner, and then you can use some glue from the hot glue gun to attach the end. Just go around like that and then keep it tight to really cover the metal. And then just make sure that you keep also the same distance between the individual sections. It's tough getting into the last little bit, and you see I used just the right amount of yarn or string, so I'm so happy that this was enough. And then just wrap it one more time, and on the back there just use a little hot glue, also on the other ones, and then it's all done. This is it.